Hello, my friends. For today's reading, we have the dolphin. Okay, dolphin. Innately intelligent, healer, light, blessings. The gifts of the dolphin are beyond what our human minds can grasp. Dolphin personalities are often drawn to the healing arts as they are sensitive to the subtle and enjoy working on the level of spirit. It's easy for dolphin types to underestimate the impact they make in the world. These creatures play such an important role in the wheel of karma that coming in contact with a dolphin type will change the entire course of your day, and thus your life. This card can also indicate a profound blessing is on the way. When in balance, active healer, strong spiritual practice. When out of balance, underestimates their own power. To bring into balance, like-minded spirits. The other thing is, I find this card cheerful. It doesn't really say anything about a dolphin type being cheerful, but as soon as I picked up the deck, I started feeling cheerful. Okay, so let's take a look at your tea leaf cards. So this is to help you understand whether or not this is your reading. We have grapes, time to go out and have fun. See, I told you. And then pin, new job or career. That would be exciting. I hope you're feeling very enthusiastic about it. I think you may be. We also have horse, short journey. Not a long one, just a short one. And July. Maybe you're taking a vacation in July. Maybe you're starting your new career or job in July. But we also have someone or something going out of your life. It could be a situation. It doesn't have to be a person, which if you're starting a new career or job, of course, you're leaving behind your old job, your old career, and the people there. Finally, this one is less fun. We have involvement with the law. Hopefully it's something like a parking ticket and not something larger, but there's a variety of ways that could play out. And again, it is next to July, so maybe there's something going on there. In any case, July should be significant to you in some fashion. And you should already know what that is or will be. Sorry, I have a lot of throat clearing to do. Lots of pollen here right now. Okay. Let's get your tarot. Well, this makes sense. Two of Pentacles is all about change, balancing, navigating, change. Which, of course, is exactly what you're doing. Oh, now we have the Lovers. So that can be about making choices, important choices. It can be about leveling up. And now we have the Sun, mostly in an upright position. The Sun is about happiness. It's not a long-lasting happiness, not like the Ten of Cups, but it is happiness. If it were in reverse, I might suspect a more artificial happiness, but you got it in the upright. And we have the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups is about a painful emotional lesson that needs to be learned, that you won't be able to move on with your life until you learn this lesson. Integrate this lesson is maybe more accurate, because I believe it will be an external lesson. You won't be able to avoid it. You just have to integrate it so that you can move on See, there's 2 cups here that are still upright, and that's typical of the 5 of Cups. There's always a promise of something else. Not everything has been lost. There's still something there. Maybe something better in the distance. So no matter how bad things seem to be in the moment, maybe you didn't want to find a new job or career. Maybe you were forced into it. But maybe in the long run, you'll find that it works out for the best if you can integrate this lesson. Okay. Anything else? Well, you have the 5 of Pentacles. Again, this one is in a crossing position, a teeter-totter position, not upright, not reversed. So, this is a card about lack, a lack mentality, scarcity mindset. Frequently, there's the indication that the person who is experiencing this can do something about it. The problem is they don't believe they can. There is a supportive person here, but they are turned away from that. Turned away from that person. Their entire head is in shadow. I believe I heard recently somebody talk about the 5 of Pentacles also potentially being a card indicating addiction. I hope that's not the case. But in any case, other things are possible, but you have to be willing to see them and work with them. Which is what we're getting from the 5 of Cups as well. So you have the 5 of Pentacles. It's not in the upright. So you do not want this card in the upright. So that's a good thing. Perhaps you are beginning to understand that you have more options here than you have been willing to acknowledge. That you have some choices to make, and that your choices, first of all, they're yours. They're within your power to make. And they can lead you to something better. All right, I think that's a good point to stop and see what the universe has to say about all this. Oof. Okay. All right. Seeds have been planted, going places. You or the person on your mind, probably you, but I'm not positive. And a white wolf. Okay, so a lot of growth potential. It's not going to happen fast. You've planted a seed, you're not on a rocket. So be patient, tend to this seed so that it has the conditions it needs to grow and flourish. That is all about working on your confidence, trusting your inner knowing, believing in yourself, in your instincts, your intuition, your resilience, even though there is loss, even though you may be feeling defeated to some degree. Something has ended and it's painful. And that can make you very distracted and absent-minded. And of course, just not in a good state of mind. Perhaps getting out would be helpful for you. Maybe playing the field, but maybe just socializing, you know? Just going out to something fun. Near where I live, there's a place where they have performances in the park. Sometimes they're dramatic ones, sometimes they're musical ones. You don't need a date. You can just show up. And maybe that's what would help you. Just getting out. Whatever this loss has been, it's been it's something you need to let go of. Perhaps something you chased after for a long time. Something you thought you really wanted, maybe. But it's not the right time, or it's not the right thing, and that's why it's gone. That isn't to say you should let go of your hopes and dreams. That isn't to say that they're gone. They may be changing. Maybe some different hopes and dreams can come to the forefront now. Maybe you can see different things happening. Yeah. Time to be innovative. Put some new ideas into action. Be open. Even though you really don't feel like you know where you're going right now. You could be in that limbo state. You're not here, you're not there, and you can't see anything yet. So you're just waiting. Or putting one foot in front of the other. Probably pretty slowly because you can't see what's ahead. You really don't know what direction you want to take. But there's also this sense of release. Some healing going on. Or that has gone on. Or is still going on. More accurately, I think it's still going on. This Five of Cups is really sticking out here. So I think the healing is still going on. There is the need. So when we talk about healing the body in Chinese medicine, which is a form of energy medicine, you think of the body as energy, and there are two basic things that can happen. There could be other things, but most of the time it's one of two things that happens. There's not enough energy somewhere, so some other energy enters that should not be there and causes all kinds of problems. Or there is an energy blockage. So there is sort of this energy that just gets congested and stuck. And in either case, you need a release. You need to release that energy to get things moving again. See this waterfall? The water's really moving. So you need to get things moving again, which can be painful. Or you need to get rid of something, drain something that doesn't belong there, which can be painful. And then refill it, which takes time. So there's more complicated situations that are possible too, but let's just stick with those two. So for right now, you're in this in-between state. Things have gone. New things are coming. But you are somewhat anxious because you don't know what's happening, because you're becoming someone you don't know. You are reinventing yourself. You're having a metamorphosis. You're becoming the butterfly. And in order to become the butterfly, everything had to fall apart for the caterpillar. So that is not an easy or, I imagine, comfortable process. Speaking as a human being, yes, metamorphosis, transition, evolution, reinventing yourself, these are not comfortable processes. They're worth it. They are totally worth it. But they are not fun. They are not fast. And they can be very disruptive. You do have to be committed, deeply committed to yourself. So, I hope that you are deeply committed to yourself. And I think we'll go with the archetype cards today. To see what else might be helpful for you to consider, keep in mind. Poet, the Flame, and the Sword. Okay, number 7, 51, and 62. Number 7, the poet, the artist, the witness, the truth teller. The poet's work is to feel immensely and not be afraid. Okay, that sounds so uncomfortable. Oh dear. To feel immensely and not be afraid. That sounds very challenging. Okay, maybe you agree. Okay. They must seek out truth in the darkest corners of the world and carry it back for all to see. This unique capacity resides within us all, regardless of our relationship to creativity. When the poet energy is present, there is a call for deep honesty and reflection. Ouch. For seeing the big picture within the little one. The poet rides effortlessly between the personal and universal. It's possible that others may not seem to listen or care about the poet's work, but do not be discouraged. The words of the poet ring true for centuries to come, soothing the wounds of despair and violence that captivate our world. The poet's work is never finished. Find your voice and trust that the wind will carry it. When light, clairvoyant, wise, timeless. When dark, harmful words, sharp tongue, thwarted creativity. It's likely there is a poem or poet that was meaningful to you at a young age. Revisit and reread it now. Be open to its message. The poet is related to the shaman and the bridge. These archetypes hover in the meeting place between the everyday and the sacred. You really are in between, aren't you? All right, 51, the flame. I love these little cards, but the little book that comes with it is kind of hard to use. All right. The flame, the fire, the spark, the glimmer. In Sanskrit, the word for fire is Agni. The ancient yogis saw this flame at the center of the abdomen and believed it to be responsible for our vitality. When it is lit, we are connected to our purpose and sense that life is a sacred gift. It is said that those who cannot see the sacred around them have let their inner flame go out. Think of this card as a call to reignite that fire, to cup your hands gently around those things you've forgotten, and protect the flame. no matter how harshly the winds around you blow. It could be an inner archetype that begs you to light its wick. It is likely that the poet, the mystic, or the shaman would call to you with the language of the flame. Well, I guess so. Oh boy. When light, health, mental clarity, and digestion, or good digestion, sorry. When dark, excess heat and anger, complete darkness. The archetypal fire is at the beginning of all transformation, purification, and manifestation. Nearly every spiritual lineage honors the flame. To enliven the connection with this archetypal energy, practice the candle gazing technique called Trataka. Notice how lighting a single candle in any space brings magic to the room and creates a sense of reverence. And then finally, we have the sword. This is interesting. 62. The sword, the knife, the blade, the weapon. To use the sword is to decide. This blade separates one reality from another. The choice is made and all else falls away. If you find the sword in your grasp, you can no longer hesitate. This weapon requires a clear and decisive mind and a willingness to act. An onlooker may think the sword bearer is hasty and violent, but the most compassionate and responsible gesture is one that is honest, swift, and accurate. Our first encounter with the sword is at birth, when the cord we share with the mother is cut. This moment defines our separation from her and begins our journey of becoming ourself. We must make these cuts again and again if we are to grow. Decisions shape our life, and the sword is an infamous shaper of destiny. When light, cutting through to what is essential. When dark, hasty, backstabbing, a dull and painful blade. Contemplate the Buddhist philosophy of the first and second arrow. Swing the sword once with precision and commitment. More than that will be painful for everyone involved. Not sure what the arrow's about. Okay. Boundary making, prioritizing, and clarifying are all gestures made possible by the sword. The sword is a metaphor for the pen and the brush, the artist's fierce and graceful tools. Perhaps some creativity is calling you. You've got the poet, and now this reference to creativity too. Okay, so if you can learn to be comfortable in the limbo state, it's okay. I think I've been doing a lot of limbo readings lately, but at first it's really just really unnerving. It's not that anything bad is happening. It's just you don't know where the ground is. You're floating in space in some way. So that can cause anxiety, yes. But if you can learn to simply float like you would in the ocean or in a pool, then you can find that being in limbo is not really that bad. It might be quite restful for you. I am wishing you all the best.